Yes, I can. It was Jessica Hurst. There you go.
Oh,
It's on now.
okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, she's trying to.
Good morning.
Report to the court.
I'd like to call the Code Board June 12th meeting to order. Has everyone had a chance to review the minutes? If so, do I have a motion to accept?
I make a motion to accept the minutes as read.
Second.
Okay. It has been moved by Ms.
Mr. Gonzalez,
Present.
Ms. Calman,
Present.
Ms. Marsh,
Here.
Ms. Harrington, Ms. Roby,
Here.
and Ms. Rodham.
Yes, here.
Mrs. Hines.
Here. Okay.
I'd like to make a
We've all
motion
heard-
to excuse
accept-
Mr. Harrington.
Yes.
Second.
Okay. It has been moved by Mr. Gonzalez, second by Mrs. Marsh, to excuse Mr. Harrington. Would the code officers please come forward to be sworn in?
Thank you. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you.
Okay. Here are our procedures. We will be calling cases by numbers and for the most part in order as they are listed on the agenda. If there are any attorneys or policemen present, we will hear those cases first. When your case is called, please come forward to be sworn in. State your name and address for the records. If you are not the owner of the property, please state your relationship to the owner. Our proceedings are recorded, so please speak into the microphone. The board hears from the code officers first, and then you will be given an opportunity to respond. Please direct all responses to the board. Witnesses may also testify following the same procedures. Are there any attorneys or policemen present at the time? Okay.
Sworn.
Disclosure of ex parte
Oh,
communication.
yeah. Are there any disclosures of ex parte here? Okay. Okay.
Madam Chair, I believe we have one attorney.
I just told him to come forward. I just told him to come forward. Okay. That would be case number 6.
Mr. Luce.
Okay.
Oh. Serious case. God.
Madam Chair, the inspector is running a little late on this
Okay.
case.
So we're gonna, and we,
I can fill you in.
Oh, we can't do it.
but we need her
We need the
here.
inspector to be here, sir.
We need the inspector here. Okay, so as soon as she comes, we'll do it. Okay. We now have lien review.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I have announcements.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
It's okay. Page 6. Case number 15 will be via Zoom. Oh, you are? Okay. Okay,
Oh.
cancel it. They're here instead of Zoom.
So she's here?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Same page. Case number 17. CEB 0325-58 740 Derbyshire Road is in compliance as of June 6, 2025. Okay, page 8. Case number 22, CEB 06-25-107, 340 Manhattan Avenue is in compliance as of June 11th, 2025. So, page 9. Case number 26, CEB 06-25-109 will be via Zoom. And those are my announcements.
Thank you, Ms. Secretary. Okay, we will now hear case number 0521124, Melissa A. Casper. Mr. Yates. Yeah. Okay. Miss, are they here? Oh,
Is anyone here for lien review 1? Kinda. I'm here because I think it's supposed to be, I have the whole under, oh, sorry.
Can you state your name, please?
Thomas Holzapfel.
Last name again?
Holzapfel, Holzapfel.
Raise your right hand, sir. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, is it the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
okay. We are here for Mr. Yates.
Yes, considering the fact that the parties weren't here today, so the agreement can't be finalized, I would like to ask to postpone to the next call.
Okay.
I have a
You
question.
want to purchase the property, correct?
I have it under contract, yeah, and I wasn't gonna go, I mean, I'm well aware of the issues at the property and things that I think are dirty that could help the neighborhood, and I'm more than.
It's in compliance now.
Oh, okay, right, and then the fine, obviously, is pretty hefty, and before I closed on the property, I wanted to see what, that's why I'm here with you all, decision you make on if this can be reduced or waived, if it is in compliance, and if I did everything. I mean, $16,000 some dollars, that's a lot of money, so I.
Okay, but Mr. Yates just,
Yeah.
why did you say for the postponement?
We'd like to come back at the next hearing so that the HUD, the party of this, can actually be here.
Okay.
So legally, he doesn't have standing because even though he's under contract, it hasn't closed. It's kind of like a middle ground of ownership. I'll let the board make the decision that you guys want, but we advise that we should continue because he legally doesn't have standing.
Okay.
I believe that this was here, the property owner is Eddie Roman? That's not you?
No, the house was repossessed
Yeah.
by a HUD agency.
Yeah.
And,
We just want to give everyone a
Yeah.
chance to be able to.
Yeah, I had
Okay,
a
we had
question.
yes.
Because going through the documents, I find that there was a summary final judgment of foreclosure a couple of years ago. This case has been going on for a while. So I would not recommend any postponement. I think we have someone that's interested in buying it. We can make a decision on the restitution. The lawyer says he doesn't have to be here. So I would suggest that we move forward instead of holding it up.
But,
It's,
Mr., I'm hearing,
so my concern's a matter of due process. Let's say that the owner wanted a 0 fine and you issue $1,000, like lower it to $1,000. Technically, because the owner wasn't heard, they do have a due process claim. So even if we're trying to help them by not postponing it, it could still kind of no good deed, right? So,
I would just.
because they would,
I'm sorry.
the owners are not here. And
Well, yeah, I understand, but this case has been going on for a while, and it seems like the owners haven't been here, period. You know, according to, well,
what is,
somebody else was talking. But anyway, you were getting ready to say something.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, if the fine was reduced to 1,000 or even a couple thousand, I would proceed immediately and clean this up and not make it an eyesore in the neighborhood. And I have the financial abilities to do that. And I think the house has a lot of potential. I met some of the neighbors, the back fence is caving down. The neighbor said he'd let me go and fix it up at my expense. It's like a shared fence. I have a really good plan in place for this property. It's just, $16,500 fine is just something
So are you buying the property from HUD or from the ex-owner from HUD?
I'm buying from HUD.
Okay.
and the only thing I have to say, I wouldn't like for this to come back and bite us.
Well, we don't want that, but, yeah.
Here. Now,
are you gonna live there yourself, or are you purchasing it to rent, or?
I'm buying it for my elderly uncle's 85 years old. He does pretty well for a guy that old. And I'm moving him down. I've already moved him down here from Nebraska. That's where I'm from. I own a small car dealership up there. And this is for family. So it's not a flip home or nothing like that.
Okay. That was one of my main concerns. The other thing is, I was wondering, have we heard anything from HUD about this property, or no?
If I may, in our dealings with HUD, essentially because they are not the ones who did the wrongdoing, our plan initially was to come in, assuming new information was gathered, and actually request that the address, the parcel be released from the lien and that the owner remain. So that the property would not be encumbered and that parties who did no wrongdoing would not be encumbered, but that the original person who did have these violations would be the one still responsible. But to be clear, the home is now in compliance and has been in compliance. So it is currently in compliance.
this is from HUD, though HUD put it in compliance.
Yes, HUD put it in compliance, and HUD did request in a letter a full release, and it was my plan to cooperate with that, considering they had no part in the actual violation.
Is there a way that HUD could go after Melissa, or?
Well, they have agreed to release her.
Right, but they're not paying, they haven't paid the fine.
Right.
So if HUD can go after Melissa themselves, then we could release,
But see, we need to hear from HUD.
yeah, that's why I'm asking if anybody's heard from HUD, if they plan on releasing, or if they're not gonna pay it, and try and put the burden on the next person that buys the property.
He's willing to pay part of it.
Yeah, but it's not fair to him that he's picking up somebody else's.
That's true.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
this is something that we typically do when there's this type of situation. We're releasing the parcel of any lien because it's a HUD parcel, HUD property, but we are having the lien remain under the name of the property owner, so that should that property owner have any other property within the county, we would be able to attach that property. This is something we have done in the past.
Yes.
So
Go ahead.
just to be clear, I think what he's saying is if you guys would agree to that, no fine if I close on this home like I'm supposed to in a couple of days, what he's saying, it would not go with the home, the fine would go against Mrs.
Yeah.
Casper. I just want to be
Yeah.
perfectly clear.
So
Thank you.
the city definitely objects to having a decision made today without the owner present, if this is what we're doing.
So I'll make the motion that we accept the city's recommendation to postpone the decision on this case till our next meeting, next cutoff.
Mr. Gonzalez has made a motion. Is there a second?
He'd like to say something else again.
The motion is on the floor. So
Is there any discussion?
after the motion,
I'm not gonna second something that,
okay. The motion died for lack of whatever. The thing I'm trying to get, we're discussing it, but we have to postpone it.
I understand, but he wants to say something and he's
Okay.
going to closing in a couple of days, so.
Thank you. I mean, if the board tells me that what the city is recommending, if I come back here after I close on this in a couple of days, if, you know, your decision would be you will proceed against Mrs. Casper, not me as a new homeowner, I'll just close and come back on, I'll feel like I did my due diligence. I spoke with y'all. I kind of know where the city is, and if you guys would agree to that, I'll close and come back and handle it on my own when I have it in my name.
Ms. Oldroff, I believe that is what they were saying.
What we are recommending to the board is that the lien amount attached to the parcel goes away. This is not to come back for another hearing or anything
Right.
else. That we're asking for determination that the fine for this property, the lien, is released for the parcel, but remains attached to the owner that the lien was
So
originally issued on.
to address the due process concern, did you file for this lien review or was it the owner?
It was the owner, but I was.
Okay, then in that case, I don't believe we do have a due process issue because if they filed and they weren't here, they had notice it was their decision not to be here. That is my recommendation. If you guys decide you want to rule in absentia, that is your right. So,
Go ahead.
Okay,
Attorney, what is
so
your-
I'm going to amend my my motion to follow the attorney's recommendation, city attorney recommendation, that we go ahead and move forward and dispense with the fine, and then review it anyway in our next meeting. Leave that opening. He can follow up what he needs to do, and when we come back, if everything is in place, then we can vote on just taking the whole thing off. Sorry.
I'm thinking that if we agree to HUD's to dispense of it, then we will be clear here. He doesn't have to come back in here to us.
There's basically a lien against two entities, one being the property and the other being the lien against the person. And I think what Mr. Yates is recommending was to remove the lien on the property
Right.
so that that property can come back into being useful again, and otherwise it'll just sit there as probably an eyesore or whatever. But that the lien remains on the person, so that if they buy other property in Volusia County, automatically they have a lien attached to it. I don't know the likelihood of that occurring, but it's a possibility.
So where does that leave him?
Well,
He then has a property, if I'm understanding correctly, that would be free and clear of the lien.
right.
And he could improve the property and move his uncle in, and it could be back to a useful residence, as opposed to sitting there as it is right now. I suppose it's abandoned.
It's been vacant for a couple
Vacant.
of years now, unfortunately.
And, you know, that's kind of your decision. I don't know that you will, you know, it's a question. The gentleman who's here has also offered to put a couple thousand, I think, into it to satisfy it, and that may be more than you ever get out of this thing. I don't know. The respondent, the individual who asked for the lien review is not here.
That's HUD. They sent it. I don't think HUD ever really shows
Did,
up. but
did
they
HUD
sent-
ask for the lien review, or
Yes,
did the
it's
owner?
HUD.
Oh,
Casper.
I was under the assumption it was the person, the other person.
No, it was
No,
HUD.
HUD.
In that
Okay.
case, I go back to my due process.
That's why I'm
Then-
cautious on.
Then you don't have a due process problem anymore.
If it was HUD, we do, because who are we putting this lien on again?
Melissa.
Melissa,
Melissa?
Melissa.
And she did not file for this.
No.
No.
Was she given notice of this hearing? Let me look here.
No.
It only
I
went,
don't
it only
think
went
she-
to the HUD person
Okay.
in Miami.
Yeah.
Then in
And
that
why?
case, I go back to my.
Well, that
but
might
really
change
What I'm
things.
asking is, we can answer HUD to release the lien. That's
We
what,
can
we
release
can
HUD.
do that. That's what
Yes.
we're here to do.
Yes.
Release HUD. Once we release HUD, we do not have to deal with him. He don't have to do anything but go back and do what he wants to do.
So moved.
Okay. Okay.
But we're releasing HUD as an owner of the property, but the lien would still show up in a title search.
No, we need to release the parcel is what we.
We're
Yeah,
gonna release it.
If we were gonna do that, but as she said, we do have concerns about the due process issue, but once again, it's fully within you guys' power to proceed.
Right. So,
Okay, so
may I
we get
hear a
creative.
motion?
so the motion would be to release HUD
Right.
as the owner, as the current owner of this parcel, but to have the lien remain as to the previous owner, Melissa Casper.
She could always file for a lien review, so.
She didn't file for it, so she.
Okay, but in the meantime, he's on standstill.
No, if you did that, then he could go through the sale of the property and there would be no fine. attached to
Okay,
that, and HUD would not pay a
okay.
fine
Yes,
either.
I don't want to hold him up. Okay, so I make a motion,
Hey, just, Ms. Roberson, you understand?
I'm okay, yeah, I'm okay with that part now.
Okay.
But I just wanted him to be able to state what he wanted to, so, okay.
all right. So I make a motion that we release the lien from HUD and what was the other part? And hold the owner, the ex-owner responsible,
Melissa Casper. Melissa Casper.
Melissa Casper responsible,
Remains responsible.
remains responsible, okay. That's it, ain't it? What else did you want?
Okay,
think that-
Mr. Gonzalez has made the motion. Is there a second? Okay, Ms. Calnan has seconded the motion that the board releases HUD from the town. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you, Mr. Yates.
Thank you.
and
thank you all very much, appreciate you.
Okay, we're now going to our continued cases. Case number 1, CEB 022532. LaWarren Osborne Adam Jr. at 320 Garden Street.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Mark Jones, Field Supervisor with the City of Daytona Code Compliance. My credentials are on file. This respondent was first notified on May 3rd, 2024. I've had contact with the property owner. All violations are corrected except the roof replacement. The property is on the city's roof replacement list. I have checked with Bill, who handles that, and he has confirmed that they are still on the list. I'd like to recommend that we amend to the September cutoff for compliance.
Would that be another progress report?
We're hoping,
Then it's
It probably
completed.
will. Last I heard, there was, I believe, 30 roof replacements ahead of this property. But they are working through them.
Is there a safety issue?
No, there's no safety issue. There's a picture of the house. It's completely covered in tarp. And they've been maintaining the tarp and making sure that the rest of the property is being maintained.
Okay. Is there a motion to,
I'll make a motion that we take the city's recommendation on case CEB 02-25-32 for, to amend to the September 3rd meeting.
is there a second? Second by Ms. Calnet. It's been motioned by Ms. Robertson, second by Ms. Calnet. Thank you, Mr. Jones. Case number
Is there a
2.
vote? Is there a vote?
All those in
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Can we check and see if the attorney's case is?
Yes, Miss Inspector Kirk is here now.
Oh, she is.
We want to hear that case.
Okay, yes. Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez. That would be case number 6. Good morning, Ms. Kirk.
Good morning. I haven't been sworn in yet.
Oh, okay.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Okay, Sarah Kirk, inspector with the city. My credentials are on file. First notification was 9/27/2024. Since the last hearing, there's been no contact, no progress. Staff is recommending a fine, $200 a day to a cap of $10,000.
Okay, Mr. Attorney.
I'm Tanner Andrews. I'm here for the property owner, Mr. Lucy. And really, my problem is they won't give him a permit and they won't give him a denial of a permit, which leaves him in an uncomfortable limbo. You know, if we get a permit, he fixes things. If I get a denial, I can at least try to deal with it. But if I have a piece of paper of some sort, there's really not much we can do.
The property is condemned. The property is condemned due to fire damage. On 8/21/2024, PD and our police department and permits and licensing gave a 24-hour notice for Mr. Lucy to be out due to it being an unsafe structure. 8/26/24, the property works. The condemnation is still active on the property, so it's still sitting as is, and it's also been after it was boarded. You can see the board on the door has been removed. It's been occupied, so there's safety concerns. That's why the staff is requesting $200 a day.
So, Ms. Kirk, are you saying that someone removed the door and went in?
Yes.
Madam Chair, I think this case has been before us several times. And each time we gave them an extension to the next meeting, and they said they will have it done by then. So it's still not done.
Mr. Gonzalez, Mrs. Kirk has stated that the property is condemned.
Right, okay.
So maybe that's why you don't get.
Well, if so, then the building permit people should give us a piece of paper saying, no permit because it's condemned. You know, something I need in order to move forward. If that's not a basis.
Can we get Mr. Lucy sworn in so we can ask him a question?
Mr. Lucy, will you raise your right hand?
Ma'am?
Over here, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Raise your hand.
Yeah.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Sure.
Thank you.
Are you currently living there, Mr. Lucy? Are you currently living there?
Oh, yes, ma'am, in and out, yeah.
Okay, you know it's deemed unsafe, correct?
The condensation.
You know it's deemed unsafe to stay there?
Well, from what some people said, who trying to buy it, who trying to take it, that's what we're coming in and saying that it's not safe to stay there. But if they give me the full permit, I can go and put the roof on the house, put the window in the house, and do the paint I got to do and fix up other stuff and get rid of that. I mean, take care of that. And I want to get the permit in my name because if a contractor get the person who are trying to keep me from doing it, he'll be able to control them and tell them what to do with me. If I get the permit, the city will come out there and inspect and make sure I do it right. So that's the problem we have in here with that. Or they want it, and they'll try to buy it, they'll do everything. And they're saying that
Okay, the only thing is, the property's been condemned, so somebody from the city has gone in and seen that the property cannot be repaired for you to continue living there. So if it's been condemned, that's why they won't give you a permit to repair.
And may I say, Mr. Lucy, also the danger is the smell and stuff from the burnt part of the house could be very, very damaging to you health-wise.
oh, well, all right.
So that's
If
why.
if they gonna let me fix it up, I'm gonna go and get me a motel somewhere and live until we get that taken care of, the house where I can get back in there. Well, the only thing holding me up now is a permit so I can put the roof on and put the windows in there and go in and do fishing or when I got the fish because it's a little fire. We end up at the fire, they burn down, it burn up the same stuff out in the town. So it's just scorched a little bit.
Okay.
I had a question. Sir, before the building was condemned, didn't they give you notices that got you to that point? Didn't you get notices from the city before it got condemned, giving you the opportunity to deal with the issues? Well, I know, I heard that, and said that in there, it's not, I ain't had to go to the doctor yet or nothing, but if I have to do that, get out of there, whatever, I don't mind going to. She has a question.
Oh, thank you. So there was a notice of condemnation and demolition order that was posted on the property. And it stated that it's unfit for human occupancy, and that it also stated that, that it's beyond repair. So he had the option to go and see if he could get it overturned to fight the condemnation. So I know that there were meetings with Mr. Lucy, the staff, and city officials here at City Hall. Nothing's been done, and this is back from September is when the first notice, and the condemnation was in August.
Okay.
So I got a
So
motion,
it's his- okay.
if I may.
Yes.
I make a motion that we accept the city's recommendation to levy a fine, but instead of $200, $100 a day, until they come into compliance.
200 or 100?
He said
100.
100. He
100.
said in lieu of.
Okay. Can I see?
Mr., just one moment, Mr. Gonzalez has made a motion to accept the city's recommendation, but reduce the 200 to 100 per day. Is there a second?
I have another question.
Okay. The motion dies for lack of second. Ms. Roberson?
My question is, if it was condemned in August, and it wasn't fixed, for one, for two, if it's his property, how come it's not it's 10,000 for a property owner, correct?
Right.
Okay, all right. If it was condemned before this came up for the windows and the shed and debris, and nothing's been done. I can see where the debris may be picked up or some of the exterior fixed. I just don't understand how it's not been sent, why you're fighting to get it for the roof to be fixed if it's condemned. That's, I guess, my biggest thing.
Now, is that to Mr. Lucy?
It's
I'm thinking-
Mr. Lucy and his attorney, yeah.
Yeah, the attorney. I'm thinking that he needs to answer some of this.
Well, the reason for the condemnation is presumably lack of safety due to needs new roof, and also lack of safety at time of condemnation.
Yeah.
He had not cleaned out the mess inside the property. Now that, you don't need a permit to clean out, but you do need a permit to replace the roof because the rafters.
Correct, but you don't need anything for the shed or the debris.
I just want to object real quick to the speculation. We don't know. Do you have an order that says specifically why it was condemned? Is that why it was condemned?
It's, I mean, I have it right here if you'd like to look at it.
Do you mind telling the board why it was condemned?
Okay, so notice of condemnation, demolition order, structure condemned unsafe or unfit for human occupancy, violation, structure has been condemned, building official, blah, blah, blah. It's dangerous to life, health, property, or safety, structure's unfit, the degree to which the structure is in disrepair, lacks maintenance, is insanitary, contains filth, contamination, lacks illumination, lacks operable sanitary or heating facilities. I mean, it goes on, let's see. The structure, because of the damage, is unfit for human habitation. The structure is neglected, damaged, dilapidated, unsecured, and abandoned, nuisance. Also, let me just read one thing, and this is from the building rehab inspector that condemned the property. His notes on the case. That will I think that'll sum it up easier than reading the order.
Well, she pulled that up. I just want to note that we're,
No, I would like to hear what
I think she's
the
looking for it. Do you
inspector
have it?
said.
Yes.
okay.
Okay, on 8/21/2024, the note in the blighted property case 2024-0015 states, posted condemned property, it's unsafe, major fire damage, fire throughout attic and roof, lots of debris inside the house.
And I just want to add that the reason that the condemned is a big deal to the city is not just your safety, it's the community as well. We're not doing this to be the bad guy.
Is your mic on?
Oh, sorry. We're doing this because we're concerned for your safety and the community. It's not that we're trying to be a bad guy and condemn your home, but it's a major concern for you, for the community. You know, God forbid a kid runs by and goes and gets hurt. So this is just a bigger concern, and I think the word nuisance was used in that order. So it's just
I would like
a
to
big safety
restate my
concern.
motion.
Well, Madam Chair, could I just clarify something?
Yeah.
There has been no permits applied for since there has been the condemnation. There has been no roof permit. The last roof permit was applied for in January of 2023. The fire was in 2024. So there has been no new applications by the property owner for a rehab of this building.
If
I recall at the last meeting, didn't we ask the attorney to go back to the condemnation department and ask them what it was gonna take to overturn that? To see what they needed for permits, and has any of that been done?
Haven't seen anything. You know, I asked them, they say, there's no engineering report, but we do have what you just heard, that the roof is bad and needs to be replaced, and I don't know, maybe he's not making the application the right way. Tell
Well, you're
Let me
the
ask
attorney,
them
are
to
you
tell
here
us how they
to
tried
guide?
to get the roof permit.
Attorney, excuse me, I think she put that question to you.
Yes, like, we asked you to go and find out what it was gonna take to get that condemnation overturned. And, I mean, the engineering report is not on the responsibility of the city, it would be of the owner, right? First you have to go to the city and say, what do I need to do to get my permit? Then they say, well, you need an engineering report, you need a
Right.
bid for the roof, so on, whatever it might be. And then come back to us with your information. But it seems like nothing's been done,
Do you
we're
have a
just
cop-
going in circles.
Do you have a copy of that report? I believe you can ask.
I think I've got that.
Okay.
When the fire called, I had a permit, but they probably expired
I can't speak to
after
that.
they do that, but I had one. I come back up.
Okay, okay, Mr. Gonzalez, please.
I believe she has something she wanted to add.
Oh, I was just going to say, I did provide Mr. Lucy with paperwork for assistance programs, and back on, let's see here, in August, I gave him a phone number to the building rehab inspector, and for the, and, you know, information about the condemnation case. He did speak with me and say that he was going to try to get the condemnation ruling reversed. And this was back in August of 2024. So
he-
this has been
he
an
did-
ongoing.
He didn't apply for the government funds to move forward with the project?
Not that I'm aware of.
Well, I've got paperwork from that, actually. I think I've got an award letter.
We don't have anything.
That's right.
If I may,
Mr. Gonzalez.
yes. Looking at the new information about not applying for permits and such, I will make a motion that we accept the city's recommendation, except that I would change it to $150 a month, daily, until they come into compliance.
150 a month or day?
A day.
Thank you.
Mr. Gonzalez has made the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, Ms. Robish has second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Attorney Tanner, Mr. Lucy, you all have to get together and make the decision, but the property has been condemned.
And
We're
similar
now-
similar to the first case, you can always do a lien review.
Yeah,
Case number 2,
okay, that's it.
CEB 032571, Robindale Kingma.
Robindale Kingma, 133 Mallard Lane, Daytona, 32119.
You can pull that down, ma'am.
Okay.
There you go. Will you raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Yes, this case was first opened and first notified on April 21st. Compliance was due by May 1st, 2025. The property owner has done quite a bit of work, as you can see from the photos. They have almost completed it. My understanding is there were some challenges with some of the lumber that showed up.
There was.
And we'd like to amend to the next cutoff
Okay.
for compliance.
Where it stands today, there's 4 fascia boards to be replaced. They haven't been delivered. They'll be here tomorrow. And they'll be removing the trash bin, the leftover siding, today or tomorrow. He said, my contractor said that Monday, his painters are coming in and they have to caulk and then paint, tie it in. Then they can pop in the 3 windows and put up the new lights, and it'll be completed. He figures by Friday of next week.
So you
Whether,
think you will be in compliance? with
yes,
what-
more has been done. I've got the pictures from this morning, walking the property. If The officer wants to speak to the contractor, he's standing by, so, for his firming date. I'm also going to have him do some extra things. They've re-insulated the entire building. It's 44 years old. They put in hurricane ties. I had him do extra stuff all during the process to, bring everything up to codes and make sure that it's top-notch.
Yeah. Ms. Kingman.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion on case number CEB 03-25-71 to amend to the next meeting.
Next cutoff date?
Next cutoff date, I'm sorry, of 7/2 to come into compliance or
Second.
face a fine up to $1,000 a day.
It's been moved by Mrs. Robinson to.
Roby.
Roby to accept the next cutoff date. And second by Mr. Gonzalez.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
All in favor?
The next
Well,
cutoff
thank
date
you
is
so
July
much, Ms.
2nd, but our
Kingman.
meeting is this 10th, July 10th.
And thanks for completing, Mrs. Kingman, thank you. Our next case, case number 3, CEB 052594, Ellen M. Fitchner and Alvin Fitchner Living Trust Date at 114 North Gardner Court. This is a repeat. He's been here. Okay, I'm sorry.
Good morning, Madam Chair.
Beanie.
I'm Inspector Ron Beanie. Code compliance credentials are on file. The respondent was first notified on February 13th, 2025. Since the last hearing, I have had contact with the occupant, John Davis, who stated to me that he does represent the property owner. There has been progress to the property. Staff is recommending to amend this case to the next cutoff.
I'm sorry, he wasn't sworn in. And your name is, sir?
John Davis.
Will you raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Excuse me, you said David or David?
Davis. D-A-V-I-S, ma'am.
What is your relation to,
I was the companion for the owner until she died, 12 years prior to the day.
are you the named trustee recipient?
Not yet.
It's going through,
I'm wanting to take care of the property for 12 years, ma'am. I've been through 3 floods.
I
there.
know, but I'm just trying to establish standing, legal standing. So this is, I'm assuming that this is a trust, meaning that they're no longer with us.
It's in a trust fund, yes, ma'am.
Who is the trustee on that account?
That would be the granddaughter.
The granddaughter, so
Yeah,
she's the.
she's out of state.
You can test, did she give you permission to speak on her behalf? Okay.
Yes, and I actually inherited the property through a will, a living will, and the granddaughter as well.
Okay.
I've been through 3 floods there. I've replaced floors, electric, a lot of stuff. Plumbing.
Okay, Mr. Davis, did you complete your?
I did.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. My recommendation is to have this case go to the next cutoff.
Okay.
And then to the next cutoff.
I have did you get the pictures I sent you today?
I did not.
You did not?
Okay, is there any questions from the board?
Yes, I have a question for the inspector. Has the outside storage been dealt with?
A large amount of it has been taken care of. He's actively working to take care of the rest of it.
Yeah. How about the boat park?
The boat has been put to a legal spot on the property.
Okay. And yard damage. Well, that's just a final thing. Okay. Refrigerator, has that been moved?
It has.
This is the picture of the fence. Painted and got all.
Are there any more questions from the board?
That's the front of the house with the.
Is there a recommendation?
wagon.
I'll make the motion that we take the city's recommendation on case CEB 05-25-94 to amend to the next cutoff on 7/2/25.
Second.
Okay, it has been moved by Mrs. Roby and second by Mrs. Marsh that we amend to the next cutoff date.
But,
All in favor?
man, can I speak?
Yes.
Okay. I've completed everything that he's asked me to complete. I got the pictures right here to show it.
He acknowledged that.
He has to determine you're in compliance, and I expect you probably need to go there and do a once-over.
Yes, I was there yesterday. He says he's done some stuff since then, but I'll confirm that.
He has to see it with his own eyes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Let's see everything Mr. Gonzalez
It's
asked.
my first rodeo.
Mr.
Yeah.
Kennedy.
Just stay in
Said
contact.
it was done.
He's not too scary. Just keep in contact with him and
I'll
he'll
run
help
for
you.
Billy. I won't hide, but I'll run.
Yeah, I did say all in favor.
Be great.
Again, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And sir, the next meeting
Okay,
date is July 10th.
Mr.
July 10th. Thank you, ma'am. May the Lord bless you, folks.
Mr. Davis, stay in contact with Mr. Beanie. He'll let you know.
You won't have to reappear if he signs off on you.
Yeah, I'll make sure that gets done.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm always in compliance with him. That'll only-
Case number 4, CEB 052595, LP Empire Properties LLC, 338 Hobart Street, Hobart Avenue. Mr. Beanie.
Yes, ma'am. The respondent was first notified on December 3rd, 2024. Since the last hearing, I have had contact with the owner. There has been progress to the property's permit. Staff has recommended to amend this case to the next cutoff.
Okay, Mr. Beanie, you have to be sworn in or you're,
Ma'am, can you step to the other mic? The other one? Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Let me
My
see.
name is Sandra Vasquez. I am a general contractor in this case.
Is our mic on?
Ma'am,
your name is?
Sandra Vasquez.
will you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
On the record, can you repeat your relation to the LLC?
My LLC is Bait Building.
No, I meant your relation to Empire Property LLC.
My relation, I'm the contractor in this case.
They gave you permission to speak at this hearing?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, okay. We presented the documents yesterday that they asked, and we need more time. I know you already did more time, but we need a little more time to
Ma'am.
finish with this case.
What he've asked for the next cutoff, but what are you saying you need more than that? What time are you speaking about?
We didn't get that permit to finish this work, so we need more time for finish this.
But how much time? You're saying more
I
time?
consider that good time is gonna be 2 months.
So typically what we do is when we amend to next cutoff, if the person is responsive, it communicates, we see that they have tried, they made an effort, but something out of their control they couldn't. I don't want to speak for them. I'm saying
Yeah.
general process, they might work with you. It doesn't mean that you're going to be fined next month, but we need to bring you in to see a progress, to see a report.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. I can't guarantee you won't be fined. I'm just saying if you work with him, generally they're really amenable.
Oh, okay.
Just make sure you stay in contact.
Question, so the only issue, outstanding issue is no permit or
Yes.
fence?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And it's set for review on July 2nd.
Okay. So we can review it at our next meeting?
Well, it'll be happening the same day as our meeting, the permit review.
Oh, okay.
So maybe,
Maybe we should give them 2 months.
Yeah.
is that?
That would be acceptable.
Okay.
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 That cutoff would be.
Can I get a motion?
Yes,
on that?
yes, I'll make a motion, in the case of CEB 05-25-95, LJP Empire Property LLC, 336 Hobart Avenue, that we provide them with an extension until our, July, June, July.
8/6.
July
August.
6th is the cutoff.
July.
The hearing
August.
is, August, sorry. August 6th is the cutoff and
So
August
our
14th.
August meeting.
August 6th, okay. Is there a second?
Well, actually, they're extended the August cutoff because then it can be set for a hearing.
Oh.
Isn't that the way it usually works?
Yes, to the next cutoff, or
Yeah.
August cutoff.
Yeah.
To the August
Not the
cutoff.
day of the hearing. You don't want the inspectors to come
Right.
in
Oh,
and
no,
go,
no,
well, I
August
haven't
6th.
been
That
there.
is 8/6.
8/6
Yeah.
is
That
the
is
cutoff.
8/6.
Yeah,
Okay, for A6.
I'll
Okay.
second.
Okay. It has been moved to properly second by Mr. Gonzalez and second by Ms. Roby. All in favor?
Aye.
So, August 14th is the hearing date.
Case number 5, CEB 0525107, Joseph F. Pouncey at 241 South Franklin Street and 245. Ms. Kurt.
Okay. First notification was 5/22/2024. Since the last hearing, I have had contact. However, there's been no progress, so staff's recommending a fine of $100 a day to a cap of $10,000.
Is there any questions from the board?
You said $100 a day?
Yes, sir.
Is that 2 addresses?
I think it's a lot next door.
It says 241 South Franklin and
245.
245.
Yeah. Is it just a property, empty property, vacant property? Why?
That's what it appears to be. It is all on one parcel, though.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I move that we accept the city's recommendation to levy a fine of $100 a day until they come into compliance. In the case of
Okay.
case number 5, CEB 052-25-107- Joseph F. Pouncey at 241 South Franklin Street and 245 South Franklin Street.
Okay. It has been moved by Mr. Gonzalez, second by Mrs. Reichenbach. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Did we include a maximum in that order?
10K.
The maximum is all. Okay. Case number 7, CEB 042579, Gary E. Holt at 524 Butler Boulevard. Ms. Quinn? Good morning. Oh, has to be sworn in.
Please state your name, please.
Gary Holt, 250 University Boulevard, Daytona Beach, Florida.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good morning, Inspector Quinn with the City of Daytona Beach Code Compliance. My credentials are on file. The respondent was first notified on December 12th, 2024. Since the last hearing, I have had contact with the property owner. The property is occupied. Since the last hearing, the owner has made good progress, and staff recommends amending to the July cutoff.
Okay.
I got some question because this case has been before us previously, and the pictures are not showing any progress. Are these the new pictures?
Can I address that issue?
Yeah,
There
give me a minute.
are some new pictures
Oh,
scrolling
okay.
through, so you can see where he's started the demo process of the addition.
So he's in the process of demoing the property.
Yep. Or at least that addition that was put on, the blockhouse appears
It
to
does
be-
have a demo permit, is that correct?
I'm sorry.
You have a demo permit?
I have an owner builder permit application which I've submitted to the city. I'm trying to, made contact with FPL to stipulate there's no power to that area. It is not the whole house, it's going to be just the addition, it's going to be demolished. That is why I'm waiting to meet with Mr. Cecil to ensure that what I want to do is to meet requirements that can be done in his estimation. And that's where I'm in the permit process, which is a little more timely than I had originally thought it would take. But I'm moving along, and the reason it took so long is that we had to completely clear out the inside of it in order to see the extent of the damage. And it looks pretty good, but I need to have that confirmed by Mr. Cecil.
Right, so all this mess that we're seeing in these pictures, why hasn't that been cleaned up?
Well, it's in a dumpster behind there. The dumpster's overflowing. You don't have any pictures of the dumpster, do you?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
But I know he's had two roll-ups at the property while they've been clearing out.
Yeah, all that's in a dumpster, which will be hauled out. And then, if that's successful, then I can move forward with getting it demoed and put up the fence. And what it would mean is that I then would have a 2-bedroom, 2-bath house. If I have to get rid of the outside, the bathroom adjacent to the addition, then I have a 2-bedroom, 1-bath house. So I like to keep the bathroom. And if you look at how it's built, it's not built with sheetrock. It's built with plaster, like you would plaster the outside of a house prior to stucco. So it's pretty stable, but I need that confirmed by Mr. Cecil. That's where I'm at.
But this concerns me.
That's one side. Yeah, that's the side.
the
Oh, you
debris.
can't see the dumpster back there. No.
Did you see the dumpster?
I have, yes.
Yeah, it's,
And he's changed it twice. It was completely full, and then the next time I met him back on property, it was
Yeah.
empty and he was starting again.
So since it's occupied, there's no safety hazard for the people that are living there?
No, because the front part of the house is block and there's no issues up front. It's just that back addition that got damaged.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion then. We take the city's recommendation on case CEB 04-25-79 to amend to the July 2nd cutoff date for
Second.
524 Butler Boulevard.
I have a question about that.
I second that motion.
Today's the middle of June. That gives me 2 weeks. That's not, I don't know how the permit process goes. I'm happy to do that. I mean, I appreciate all that, but is a permit, I don't know how long it takes to get the
I
permit.
know, but Mr. Holt, if it takes longer, anything, stay in touch with your
Okay, we'll work that out,
inspectors.
yeah. I know the people I have contracted with to demo it really want to get going. I want to get going.
Okay.
I want to see that empty.
It has been moved and properly seconded by Mr. Gonzalez and seconded by Mrs. Rowley.
No, I made the
No, she
motion.
made the motion, I seconded.
The motion was made by Mrs. Rowley and seconded by Mr. Gonzalez. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, Mr. Holt, stay in touch with the
Yes.
inspector.
Yes, madam, I will.
Thank
Thank you guys very much.
you. Case number 8, CEB 042580, Blondell M. Ezel at 647 Clark Street.
I don't see her.
Ms. Quinn.
So this respondent was first notified on July 25th, 2024. I have had no further contact with the property owner. The property is occupied, and since the last hearing, there's been no progress. Staff recommends a fine of $100 per day with a maximum of $10,000.
Okay.
Has the respondent been properly notified of this hearing?
Yeah, I checked all of them, but.
Yes, she was here last month too.
Yeah, she was here.
Okay.
So I make a motion that we accept the city's recommendation in the case of CEBO 425.
Yeah, and she was also present, so.
Somebody said something? Oh, okay. CEBO 4-25-80, Blondell M. Ezel at 647 Clark Street. That we levy a fine at $100 per day until they come into compliance with, I think it's 10,000,
Should be 15, shouldn't it?
the 10?
No, it's
15?
10?
15?
No, 10.
It's 10.
I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. All right, that's it.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. It's moved by Mr. Gonzalez and second by Ms. Marsh. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Case number 9, CEB 012511, Tam Union, and at 133 Eagle Harbor Way.
The respondent in this case was also properly notified, and they were present at the last hearing.
Okay, Mr. Butler.
Good morning, Roosevelt Butler, credentials on file with the City of Daytona Beach. As it pertains to 133 Eagle Harbor Way, respondent was first notified on September the 26th, 2024. Since last court proceedings, I've had contact with the owner. They hired a new contractor, and all of the documents has been submitted to the city. We're still waiting on the city's response. Staff requests amend to the next cutoff.
Okay.
I'll make a motion that in the case number 9, CEB 01-25-11, Tam Union Vu Nugum, at 133 Eagle Harbor Way, to move it to the next cutoff.
July 2nd.
22nd?
July 2nd.
Oh, July 2nd. To July 2nd. Okay.
It's been moved by Mr. Gonzalez, second by Mrs. Radbar. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. We now have case number 10, CEB 042590, Merlin Valquez at 1136 Lakewood Park Drive. Mrs. Valquez, would you raise your hand to be sworn in, please?
Will you state your name for the record? Your name?
Habla español. Sí. Está preguntando para tu nombre, your name. She might
Marlene Velasquez.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Rose.
We might need.
Mr. Butler.
¿Tú entiendes inglés? Sí. Sí, okay. I was just concerned about it. If she didn't have a translator, we might have a due process issue, but she, on record, said she understood, so we're okay to proceed.
As it pertains to 1136 Lakewood Drive, the respondent was first notified on February 6, 2025. Since last month, court proceeding, I've had contact with the property owner, whom has cleaned up a lot of the issue. As you can see, staff requests to amend to the next cutoff. Currently, there's someone there working on it right now as we speak, so it should be taken care of.
Mrs. Fredwell, would you like to say anything?
No, I am doing the
Okay.
cleaning. Almost
Thank
finished.
you. Are there any questions from the board?
Yeah, I got a question. Because I'm looking at the pictures, it does show that there is some work that needs to be done. So it says outside storage, has that been done?
That's what their work, it's in the backyard, and that's what they're cleaning up. It's quite a bit of it, as you can see, it was a lot more than that.
Okay.
But she has help right now, and like I said, currently today,
Yeah.
they're currently working on it, so it should be taken care of.
Okay, and the illegal parking issue?
As you can see, there's no cars on the yard. there on approved surface, which is a driveway. So yes, that's been taken care of.
Okey dokey. Dilapidated fencing.
The fencing issue on the right side, that's been also taken care of. That's been taken care of, as you can see there as well.
Wow.
So,
What's that? What's all that there?
I'm sorry?
The fence, all that, there, what's that?
That's the backyard.
Oh, okay.
This property was in pretty bad shape. However, they are getting the work done, and we're all about compliance. So
Right.
we're working with her to get it taken care of.
I'll go ahead, I'll make the motion, case CEB 04-25-90 to amend to the cutoff date of 7/2 for the property to come into compliance or be subject to a daily fine of up to $1,000 a day to $10,000.
Second.
Okay. All in favor? Okay, Ms. First, you have until next month to complete it.
If you would like it,
I just had a question. Who seconded the motion?
Mr. Gonzalez.
Mr. Gonzalez, Ms. Roby.
Thank you.
if you need a translator for next meeting, let him know and he'll tell me, or we can coordinate that. Si necesitas alguien para que te traduzca, podemos coger a alguien para traducir. Nos avisas.
Hopefully compliance.
I said the same thing in English and Spanish.
I'm glad you brought that up because, I'm glad you brought that up because this has been an issue several times.
My mom
But-
doesn't speak English very well, so I always,
Yeah.
you know, whenever something like that
Well,
happens.
at one time, I tried, they
Yeah.
told me to shut up.
There's gonna be another party in the back too that don't have any English.
Okay.
Case number 11, CEB 05-2596. Alexander Cortesa at 518 Cannon Street.
The respondent was not present at the last hearing, but he was properly notified.
Good morning, Inspector Garcia, credentials on the file with the firm. The owner's out of the country. The respondent was first notified of all the violations on January 13, 2025, and since the last hearing, I've had contact with the owner. The property is not occupied. The only progress has been made is that the building has been secured. There was, this front door kept being pushed in, knocked in, and he fixed it. Then they took it apart again. Then he then now has a door there that's secured. The back is secured. He plans on, he's already applied for permits, but he's, they need to reapply. So, staff's recommending to request to amend to the next cutoff.
So you're saying they reapplied?
Yeah, the permits were
So they
applied,
didn't-
but they were denied because of some issue that the contractor did the permits wrong, so they need to reapply so that he can move forward. He should be coming back into in town soon so that he can get on that, and he's actually out of Orlando.
Okay. Has he been specific of when he's coming to take care of it, or?
They're supposed to be getting, the permits within this month, and then starting by next month, that's why I'm asking to amend to the next cutoff. I explained to him that after that, if he doesn't do it, then we're just gonna move forward on a fine.
Yeah, because there's a lot of stuff here that needs to be done.
Yes. Are there any other questions from the board? Can I get a motion to accept the,
I guess I'll make the motion to accept the city's recommendation on case CEB 05-25-96 at 518 Cannon Street to amend to the next cutoff of 7/2. I forget what else.
Second.
Or be set for a hearing.
Or be set for a fine up to $1,000 per day. Up to, I guess he lives there, Danny?
He doesn't live there. He
Okay,
lives in
up to
Orlando.
15,000.
I thought he was out of the country.
He is now.
He's
Oh.
in, I believe, Colombia right now, but he's supposed to be returning very soon.
We have a motion by Mrs. Roby, second by Mr. Gonzalez. All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Next cutoff, okay. Case number 12, CEB 0525104, Charles McDowell at 504 Fairmont Road. Mr. Garcia's. He's coming.
Will you state your name for the record, sir?
Charles McDowell, Edward McDowell.
Did you say Charles or Edward?
Charles Edward McDowell.
Will you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
That's my heart.
Thank you.
Mr. Garcia.
This, I've seemed to lost one of my papers here, but the owner was notified back in 2017, February 17, 2025. I have had contact with him last hearing. Just recently, I had contact on June 10, 2025 with his daughter. She was requesting, look for some kind of hardship. I explained to her that we cannot give her anything like that, but that once she gets, I explained the situation about once she gets the fine, they can come for a lien review and whatnot. Staff's requesting, because of not having any progress, the only thing they did was kind of move the violations around, a fine of $100 a day capped at $10,000. And basically what they did is, the only thing they did is they cut this, this corner piece here in this picture. The vehicles that are shown on the property, they have, I believe they're not registered, have no tags. I can't see them now because they seem to be blocked the way they're put. But they have, in other photos you can see they have no flat, they have flat tires. They have outside storage. They have no address numbers. And there's a part of the fascia that needs to be painted. The violations are pretty minimum. It's something that can be taken care of pretty quickly. It's just, he's stating that in his condition, he doesn't have any help or anything. They don't have the means of finance.
Okay. Mr. McDowell, would you like to say anything?
Yes, ma'am. Excuse me. Yes, ma'am. I've been working on this stuff every day, but my health is not the best. I've been doing lengthy hospital stays and rehabilitation type stuff. I've been doing the best I can. I just want to ask for a little time, a little more time to correct and to come in compliance with Mr. Garcia there. And I would like to ask if he could just kind of meet with me. There's a lot of stuff he's pointing out there that's not even there no more, like that vehicle there. I sold it a couple of weeks ago. I'm doing the best I can now.
Are there any questions from the board?
Yeah, because you have a long list of items here.
Yes, sir.
And you say you're in a hospital and you're at rehab.
Actually in a coma for 35 days on
Yeah.
life support. And I spent like a little over about 3 months in hospital with rehabilitation.
So you don't have anybody to help you?
I've been working on that. I had a nephew come down from Titusville. He's been there helping me a little bit here and there. But I reached out to the Council on Aging and 211.org, a few others, trying to get help.
Yeah. Well, you do understand that at some point, has to be taken care of.
I know, I can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm confident that I can take care of it myself. I've
But
never asked for anybody
Mr.
for
Garcia
help.
needs to see some progress.
Sir?
Mr. Garcia needs to see the progress so he can report it back to us.
Yes, sir. That's what I said to him. I want him to come out and see what I've done. I see he took a couple of pictures of things, what it looks like. You can see the truck is not on the street anymore.
These are the photos that were taken yesterday.
Mhm.
The white truck was in the right-of-way with flats and not registered. It's now on the driveway. I don't think he understands that it cannot be anywhere on the property if it's not registered and if it's inoperable. The other vehicle in front of it, that was in another position. Now it's backed up, so you can't even see if it's tagged. I don't know if it's registered or not. That also has flats. The outside storage, he did get rid of some, but there is some still on the property, and he's put some at the road. I don't know why the garbage truck yesterday passed by and didn't even pick it up.
3 weeks. 3 weeks it's been sitting there.
Sometimes you have to call and
Yeah, he
ask
may
for
have to get
special
a hold of
pickup.
it because of so much being out there.
Yeah.
Bulk pickup.
Something as easy as address numbers, he can get that and put them up. And then he's just got a little portion of the soffit that's unpainted. It's just bare wood. He just needs to match it up with the rest of the paint, and that's it. He'd be pretty good. He has also a trailer in the driveway that can't be in the driveway. It also can't be in the yard. He had it in the yard and he put it in the driveway. Has to be behind the building line, and he doesn't seem to have that room unless he can get it behind the fence. I don't know what's behind there.
Yeah, we've been doing some stuff, Mr. Garcia.
I'd like to make a motion, and I'm going to make a motion that we amend it to the next cutoff. But if it's not, if you don't do progress, because you need numbers for 911,
Yes, ma'am.
okay? So I'll make the motion on case CEB 05-25-104 at 504 Fairmont Road to be amended to the cutoff of 7.2, or if not in compliance, to be fined up to $100 a day, up to $10,000. So, because I do feel bad that you've
Up to
been.
1,000. Up to 1,000.
Up to 1,000?
A day.
A day, but up to 10,000 total, or?
Correct, the 10,000 cap.
Yeah,
because he
10,000
utilized it.
cap.
Ms. Rose, did you say on that motion also that immediately puts up the house number?
Yes, because of 911. So you need to get those, you need to go to Home Depot or Ace or somewhere and get numbers for your home.
Yes, ma'am.
I second the motion.
Okay. It has been moved by Mrs. Roby, second by Mr. Gonzalez. All in favor?
Aye.
Nay.
Okay. Mr. McDowell, please stay in touch with Mr. Garcia.
Yes, ma'am.
We'll
We've
let you
been playing a little tic-tac-toe with our meetings here, but I just introduced myself a minute ago to him. I will do my best, ma'am.
Okay, and immediately go today and put up the house number.
Yes, ma'am.
It's important, okay? Thank you.
Thank you all.
Case number 13, CEB 022530, Pablo Raffaello, PA at 1158 Hampton Road.
State your name for the record, sir.
Pablo Raffaelli.
Would you raise your hand, please?
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Mr. Garcia?
Okay, the respondent was first notified of all the violations on November 15, 2024. Since the last hearing, I have had contact with him just once, which was on June 10, 2025. The property is not occupied. There is some progress made. They have a permits actually, and the permits has passed for the electrical and plumbing and mechanical. The only thing they have to do is get a final inspection for this, and I explained to him that once they get that final, then we can close the case. They did put the address numbers up. That was one of the last things they did. And the property needs to continue to stay maintained for having the grass cut, because it was pretty long at one point. recently, and they just cut it. So we're asking just to amend to the next hearing to get that final inspection done.
Okay. Would you like to say anything?
Nope.
Okay.
It will be good.
Are there any questions from the board?
Have you made an appointment with, for them to come out and do your final and your building
We are
permits?
still finishing the remodeling of the property, and once it's done, we will call for the final inspection.
Okay, well, I would touch base and see, because they might be a couple weeks out to make your
Okay.
appointment.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I don't know why, but for some reason, the way I understood it, speaking to him, was that before they can do the final, they wanted him to finish painting, and there was a couple of odd and ends inside that they wanted him to do
Yeah.
before doing the final. But if you can make that,
can you make an appointment in advance? Like,
Right,
can I have somebody
right.
come
Yeah,
out?
if you can do
Okay.
that, that'd be
Yeah,
great.
that's what I would
So by the
suggest you
time
do.
that comes up, then.
Okay, I'll make a motion on case CEB 02-25-30, 1158 Hampton Road, to take the city's recommendation and amend to the cutoff date of 7/2 to come into compliance or face a fine of $100 per day, up to $1,000 per day till appliance is achieved, right?
Second.
It has been motioned by Mrs. Roby, second by Mr. Gonzalez. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Thank you,
Thank you.
Case number 14, CEB 032574, Charles H. Wright and Brenda Wright at 550 Essex Road. Oh,
14.
okay, Mr. Garcia.
Have they
The
been
respondent was for-
notified of the hearing?
I'm sorry?
Yes.
Just confirming they've been notified of the hearing.
Yes, they have been properly notified.
Yes, it's right here.
They were not present. Oh, sorry. They were not present at the last hearing, but they were properly notified.
The respondent was first notified of all the violations since the last hearing. I had contact, and it was actually on June 9, 2025, with the owner. The property is occupied. There has been progress made. They have repaired and painted the front exterior, which you can see in here. It's how it was, and now it's been painted. This is the guy he has cancer. He's been in and out of the hospital, and I just spoke to him on June 9th, and he says by Friday, which is tomorrow, that he was going to have somebody pick up the trailer. Someone put the address numbers up, and then there was just a little peeling paint around the trim of the windows that he was going to take care of and paint. And then in the back, just a little pressure cleaning, and then he should be in compliance. So we're asking to amend to the next cutoff for that.
Okay.
I'll make a motion that we accept the city's recommendation to hear this case at our next meeting, 7/2. And if they're not in compliance, we'll fine to start $100 a day.
I second.
Okay, it's been moved by Mr. Gonzalez, second by Mrs. Radabaugh. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you, Mr.
I'll give you a
Gonzalez.
If you can hear me, can I interrupt there a minute?
Where are you coming from?
Who are you? Who's that?
I'm here on one of these Zooms, I'm not savvy on this stuff at all, I'm supposed to be on here today, and I've been sitting here since 8:45. Had a problem, actually finally got connected on the site, so I didn't know if I missed my hearing, or if it's still pending.
You're still waiting your turn, sir. We haven't gotten to you yet.
Okay, thank you.
Come on.
That's why the noise is coming from. It was driving me crazy.
Case number 15, CEB 022545, Barbara Lester at 351 Garden Street. Ms. Lester, Ms. Lester, would you raise your hand?
Will you both state your name and raise your right hands?
I am Barbara Lester.
You are.
John Clement White.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Inspector at Code Compliance credentials are on file. Respondent was first notified on November 22nd, 2024. Since the March hearing, I have had contact with the owner, and the city is waiting for the mortgage company to approve the house to be demolished and rebuilt. Once the mortgage company is approved, Mr. William with redevelopment stated that the city will move forward with the projects. Last inspection was June 6, 2025, and the result was non-compliance. Staff recommends we amend the September cutoff to allow time for the mortgage company to approve the rebuild.
Okay. Ms. Hermana, is this going to be rebuilt? Is that
Yes.
where the city?
Yes.
Okay.
And I have an email from Mr. William if we needed that.
I'd like to know if we could take off or amend that. The fines of $1,000 a day. My actions were because I thought, just common sense is if we tear it all down.
That's up to 1,000 if you come back.
Okay, on September the.
Okay, that we can find up to that.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not being fined. We're waiting for September to
You're not
come.
being fined.
Oh, all right
Okay.
then. I just misread that.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
September.
Would you like to say anything else? The
No,
city's
I just thought that if Mr. Orinder submitted information, the status of my case, you would know that we were sincere about getting this work done. And it would be foolish to go ahead with any other work because it's going to be torn up.
Okay.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay.
What's the city's recommendation?
Cut off till September.
Amend to September.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And into September.
Okay.
And what about the
Which would be
fines?
I didn't ask for any fines.
9-3.
Okay.
9/3.
Mr. Williams, he just sent me an email.
Is that your motion?
Okay.
Okay.
I'll make a motion in KCB 02-25-45 regarding Barbara Lester at 351 Garden Street to extend the time to our hearing in September 30th.
No, September 3rd.
September.
September 3rd, I'm sorry.
That would be the date of compliance, would be September 3rd.
Okay.
And if it's not in compliance on September 3rd, then it's set for hearing
On
thereafter.
September 30th.
Is that the cutoff date?
Yes.
sir.
Yes.
Yes.
cut off.
So
You're not, you are not being set for any
Right.
fines. There may be a fine in the future, but right now, you're just given extra time.
That's all right. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Clarification, back to the hearing date, is the 30th?
Third.
Third. So September 3rd and then
The cutoff is the 3rd. The hearing date is the 11th.
Okay. Thank you.
Second?
Second.
Okay. Motion by Mr. Gonzalez, second by Mrs. Marsh. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, Ms. Lester, you have
Thank
until
you very much.
September. Case number 16, CEB 032570, Wilbert Williams and Gail Williams at 325 Walnut Street.
Will you state your name?
Patrina Donnelly.
Will you
Your
raise,
name
sorry. Will you raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give, I'm sorry. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
And can you state your relationship to the property owners?
Niece.
They gave you
What is your relationship to the owners?
Niece.
and
Niece.
Niece.
Yes.
Okay.
They gave you permission to speak on their behalf.
Yes.
Okay, Ms. Manning.
Respondent was first notified on November 1st, 2024. Since the April hearing, I have had no contact with the owner, and there was been no progress. Last inspection was June 6th, 2025, and the result was non-compliance. Staff recommends a fine of $100 a day with a cap of $15,000.
That is not true. There has been progress. If you can see, the carport has been removed since she said it. You should have got an email, because as of Wednesday, and I got the email from, Ms. Sandy that, the city has picked up the trash that was on the side. The inspector did give me a call, I believe last Tuesday, to, ask me about again, this, like I told you when I was here before, this is new to me. I got this back in April, like a week before the hearing back in April. Again, my husband and I have taken all that was picked up. I paid the city. I came down, I think I came down Monday or Tuesday, and paid $200 for them to pick that up, so that should have been picked up. She did send an email out to everyone. She said that she tried to find, the inspector, but could not find her in her email, so,
While you look that up, you mentioned you got this in April, but they were first notified in November of last
so
year.
they were notified. I did not, because they both live in North Carolina. Well, my aunt lives in North Carolina, my uncle, I believe he's in Jacksonville. However, I am going to take an 8-hour trip tomorrow to speak with my aunt, because she has had 2 strokes, so she cannot do anything. I do have 2 potential buyers. So I am going to speak with her, and I already spoke with my uncle a couple of days ago. He's all game. He wants to go ahead and sell it, but again, he can't do anything unless she signs off on it. But because she is, paralyzed and everything, I am going to go speak with her personally so we can get this matter cleared. I can get out the middle of it and be done. Because it's been a lot. I have been in contact with the son, but I sent an email on the same day of the hearing to the inspector, asking her, because this is new to me. I don't know anything. All of this, I don't live in the city, so I don't know exactly what was being done. I had, unbeknownst to me, until she called me last week, I did not know that the city do not pick up that trash unless you call them. And then I was told that you even have to have the water on in order for them to pick it up. So I called the powers that be. They sent the $200. I came down, I paid it, and I haven't been by there. It should have been picked up, but there was an email sent.
Okay, but let's ask Mr. Tani, when was the last time you visited the property?
I was there on June 6th.
Pardon?
June 6th was
June
my
6th.
last inspection.
Okay.
What's your recommendation, Rena?
I said a fine of $100 a day with a cap of $15,000. There is still permits that have not been applied for, like for removing the carport and for the roof work that was done. There was no permit done for any of that.
Okay.
When we were here the last time, and see that picture? And I told you all that there was no mention about a permit needed or anything. There was nothing. When I called Mr., I believe it's, I don't know, her manager or whatever, and I spoke with him. He was supposed to have looked into it and got back to me, because he said himself, he didn't see anything about any permits being made. I didn't know that a permit needed to be made to remove the carport, because it was an act of God. It happened during the hurricane. So I complied and did what you all said to do. When we got here, remove the carport. I didn't know anything about something needed to be had just to move the carport. As far as the roof, nothing has been done with it, because I can't do anything with that. That's not, it's not my property. I have to have the permission of the owners, which have not. That's why I'm trying to get them to just sell it and be done with it.
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah.
the violation was the damaged carport. It did not state that a permit was required, but that was the violation. They then removed the carport, did, as you can see from the photos, did work to the roof structure without a permit. Per the building department, that would be, a permit would be required, but it is not something that was part of the violation. The violation was there was a damaged carport that had to be either repaired or removed. We don't typically state, if they decided to tear it down without getting a permit, that was not part of the violation, because the carport was part of the violation.
Okay.
So,
So in my notice of violation I have here, it says to repair, replace, or remove dilapidated carport. Apply for and obtain all necessary permits and have them finalized. That was in my initial in November. So
Yeah.
it was stated there.
Yeah, it was your responsibility to check to see what was needed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was the thing. On the 10th, after I left here, I sent her an email asking her, when I came
Her
in.
responsibility.
No. What I'm saying is, because this is new to me, I don't know anything about this. So I sent an email asking, what is it that I need to do? I don't know, because and I didn't even get a response as to, you go to so and get a permit to do A, B, and C. I didn't know, but the thing was, when I got it back, I got it a week before the hearing. I was called and said, listen, there's a notice, do you know that the house, you have to go to court. I showed up here, unbeknownst to me about the hearing, I showed up and I had no idea. And if someone would have said, it was removed.
Yes.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from. We could go back and forth a lot, but legally, she told you needed to do, she told the owners on November, they had to go check with permits and licensing. It's not her job to say what permits you do or do not need. She told you to go, check. If that didn't happen legally, all we needed to do was put you on notice, which we did. We could go back and forth, but we did the notice. It was your job to follow up.
And I'm ready to make a motion.
But I have one question before that. So why didn't, when I showed the pictures and said that it was moved, why nobody said, well, do you have a permit for it? And I would have easily said no.
Number one, that's not our job. As she said, she put it in the thing, and I believe your aunt received that.
Oh, I don't know.
But she did not convey it to you as to what was needed. But it was done legal and proper.
Which is not her
Everything was
fault.
there.
It's not her fault. It's not the
No,
inspector's fault.
it's not her. That's what I just said. Now, it's your fault. I guess due to your aunt,
Right.
she just forgot about it. Okay, Mr. Gonzalez, you have a motion?
Yes, I would like to make a motion, in the case of CBO 3-25-70, Wilbert Williams and Gail Williams at 325 Walnut Street, to accept the city's recommendation of a fine of $100 a day up to $15,000, to start today.
There a second?
Second. Is it 15 or 10?
I think she said
15.
Okay, thank you.
It's been moved by Mr. Gonzalez and second by Mrs. Marsh that we accept the city's recommendation. All in favor? Aye. Okay, understand what this is when your aunt, if you go in there, when she give you the information, then you can abide by that, and then you can come back before us later.
All right. So as far as the permit thing go, do I still have to go? How do I do that? I don't know.
Okay, talk to city downstairs, and they will tell you what you need.
Okay.
They are the ones that will let you know.
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay. Case number 17 CEB 032558, Kenneth Clark and Deborah Clark, 740 Derbyshire, is in compliance. Case number 18 CEB 012521, Willie Mae McCoy Estate, 332 Beale Street.
Respondent's representative was present at the last hearing, and they were properly notified.
Respondent was first notified on October 14th, 2024. Since the May hearing, I've had contact with the owner and the representative, Maria. And she called me this morning saying she was in the hospital, so she couldn't make it today. The main house and the garage now has a final roof. We're still waiting for 2 other roofs to be complete, and painting of the house. Last inspection was June 6, 2025, and the result was non-compliance. Staff recommends we amend to the August cutoff.
Okay. You said last inspection was when?
June 6th.
June 6th, okay.
Amend to August?
Yes, please.
Okay. Okay, and can you, if you talk to her, can you tell her to get the numbers up on the house at least? Somebody to?
I think there's numbers on the house.
Okay.
86, okay. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion on case CEB 01-25-21 at 332 Dealey Street to amend to the September cutoff of 9/3 to come into compliance or face a fine up to $1,000 a day until compliance is achieved.
Was it September or August you wanted?
August.
September or August?
That it was August 6th.
August.
Oh, sorry. I'd like to amend my motion to August 8/6.
Second. Is there a second?
Second.
Second. It has been moved by Mrs. Roby and second by Mrs. Marsh. All in favor?
Aye.
Case number 19, CEB 042582, Felix Matter at 124 Azalea Drive.
Respondent has been properly notified. Oh,
I think the respondent's here.
Do you state your name for the record, sir?
Felix Mata.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Respondent was first notified on September 26, 2024. Since the May hearing, I have had no contact with the owner, and there's been no progress. Last inspection was June 6, 2025, and the result was not compliance. Staff recommends a fine of $100 a day with a cap of $10,000.
Hey, Mr. Matter, would you like to say anything?
Yes, I painted the place like I was supposed to. Trimmed the trees. I mean, that's what she put down.
why haven't you been in contact with her?
I don't have a cell phone.
She can provide that for you, but just make sure you stay in contact with her if you feel like it's in compliance. She can do it, but she inspected it and found that it wasn't, so there's still.
Well, I thought I had.
Yes, he painted the house a month ago. And he still has the outside storage, which is kind of around the perimeter of the house, which is what we were waiting for him to clean up. He told us he'd be done by this next hearing.
I've been having trouble with my stomach, diarrhea all the time, so I hardly ever come out. So, I mean.
So your recommendation is next cutoff?
No, I'm recommending a fine of $100 a day with a cap of $10,000.
I can't afford that. I get $400 a month.
Is there a motion or do you?
So that fine is something that goes onto your property. It's not something that you have to pay now. It's a lien, and then you can do a lien appeal, and once you have it in compliance, and they can consider that appeal.
That's fair enough.
I'll make the motion that we accept the city's recommendation, except that I will lower the amount to $50 a day.
So the what now?
Accept the city's recommendation, but I would recommend $50 a day instead of $100 a day. In the case of CEB 04-2582, Felix Mata at 124 Azalea Drive. Again, my motion is to accept the city's recommendation of giving them a fine, but change the amount to $50 a day. And that would be, is that up to 10,000 or 15?
10.
Up to 10,000 to start today.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Second. Okay, it's been moved by Mr. Gonzalez, second by Ms. Marsh. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So, sir, the way lien review works, is that once you have the property in compliance, you get her on the property, she will check And then if you are found in compliance, you can apply for a lien review like we did at the beginning. Did you pay attention to that? Where they forgave part of the debt. But we can't do a lien review until you have the property in compliance. This debt is not something you pay now, it's something that goes on your property. Like if you sell later on, that person would have to pay. But it's still a fine levied against your property, which needs to be resolved.
Thank you, Mr. Matter.
All right, thank you.
And case number 20 CEB 0525102, Charles Slappy at 322 Folsom Street. Ms. Hatani.
Respondent was first notified on January 21st, 2025. Since the May hearing, I have had no contact with the owner and there's been no progress. Last inspection was June 6, 2025, and the result was non-compliance. Staff recommends a fine of $200 a day with a cap of $10,000.
And for the record, the respondent was not present at the last hearing, but they were properly notified via certified mail.
He's not on any list for the city?
No.
Okay. I'm getting him confused with another. And $200 a day, you said?
$200 a day.
Was it $10,000 cap?
I'll make a motion on CEB 05-25-102 at 322 Fulton Street to take the city's recommendation of $200 a day to $10,000 to come into compliance. Let me start over. Take the city's recommendation of $200 a day to up to $10,000, or when they come into compliance, I can't think.
July 16th.
We have to visit it at that time. So you can't say or.
I know, I'm trying to think, my brain just quit
I
working.
know how it is, it happened to me before.
To come into compliance or be fined,
Right, you
$10,000.
want them to, the fine to start today.
yes,
So they're already out of compliance.
okay,
$200 starting today, up to a cap of $10,000 a day, or $10,000.
okay.
Or until, yeah.
Did you second?
Yeah,
Who
Is
seconded?
there a second?
no second yet, okay. Oh, thank you.
All right, then.
You just keep. Okay, it has been moved by Ms. Roby, second by Ms. Radabaugh. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. We're now entering our new cases. Case number 21, CEB 0625111, Rodney Murrell, Loker, and Catherine A. Meade.
Good morning.
At 1213 Magina Avenue. Okay.
Good morning. Can you state your name?
Sworn in.
Sorry. Can you state your names for the record, both of you?
My name is Catherine Mead.
Rodney Walker.
Okay. Will you both raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Before we begin, all of the new cases, you're not going to be fined today. You're just going to be found in compliance or not in compliance.
Okay.
This is a complaint-driven case opened on April 8, 2024, for failure to obtain a permit for the shed and parking a work trailer in the front driveway. First notification was signed for on April 21st, 2025. Compliance was due May 1st, 2025. The inspector has been in contact with the owner. A reinspection was done on June 2nd, 2025, and the property is still in non-compliance. Staff is recommending a finding of non-compliance with compliance next cutoff.
We can speak?
Okay, yes.
Okay, first of all, I am the owner of the property. All right, for some reason, when Mr. Loca came down to apply for a permit for the driveway, They had put him on as the owner, all right? I have not been personally in contact with anybody, all right? I've been in and out of the hospital with a heart issue for the last couple of months, so I was not made aware of this until very recently. We have a shed in the back. I come from Pocono Mountain, so I didn't know anything about code violations or code codes or anything, right? We put a shed up in the backyard. It's a plastic removable shed, all right? When Rod told me about what was going on, I said, well, I don't know if they'd apply to that because it's not a permanent fixture on the property, okay? That we can unsnap it and take it down. I tried to go online when I was in the hospital to see if I could get a permit for it, and there were certain things I was missing. I was not able to. So on our way in today, I stopped downstairs. In the interim, I do work. I work, in healthcare, and I try to work as much as I can to pay my mortgage. Okay, so I stopped downstairs, and she informed me what is necessary to get the permit. Okay, so I am starting that process right now for the shed. Okay, we have pictures of the shed. If you guys want to see it, I'm sure you can see it.
It's shown there in the photo there over the fence, in the corner.
Okay.
Jack's bedroom window.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, when you get a second. So I have a question about ownership. So just to make sure we're citing the right people, you mentioned that he's not the owner, but the property appraiser's report says that you're both tenants in common 50-50%.
Then that's going to be incorrect. I need to go with my title company.
Yeah, so until it's fixed, the property appraiser's report, we have to cite you both.
Okay.
Okay. Let me know when that's taken care of, and then we can fix that.
Okay. All right, that's not a problem because we intend to comply.
Okay,
So that's not an issue, okay? And as far as the vehicle goes, we are in the process. Ryan uses that trailer both for storing some tools that he's using on the inside of the house, and he also uses it to trail his motorcycle back and forth to Milwaukee. He has Milwaukee plates on his truck. Okay, so he goes back and forth to see his family. All right, so the truck is not in that driveway 100% of the time. Okay.
Well, that's not the issue.
But
It's in regards to the trailer.
The trailer, I meant the trailer. The trailer is not there. He takes the trailer with the motorcycle to Milwaukee with him.
Okay, but the trailer, explain
It's
to
being
her
used in
where
a
the
lot of
trailer
homes.
must
Yeah,
be.
we're using that as well.
I mean, there's contractors in our subdivision, that leave their trailers on a job site for months at a time after a hurricane.
I know we're not talking about them, but still.
We're still recovering from Ian. We're putting in baseboard, we're replacing our doors, but I have medical issues, I can't work on it full time, so it's a process. It's been taking us a while. But
Mr.
the
Jones,
trailer needs to be parked there, 'cause I need my tools to work on the house. We have pictures of
Okay.
half-finished jobs.
Mr. Jones, explain to them where that
Yes,
trailer
per the land
has to
development
be.
code, you cannot have your utility trailer in the front of your house. It can be parked on the side.
There's not room for it.
Long as it's past then it cannot be left there permanently to be worked out of. You're allowed to use your utility trailer or any trailer or RV. You can bring it on the property for 24 hours while you're loading and unloading, but then it needs to be removed from the property.
So I'm
And
paying
it
for
can
storage
be
for my
in the
trailer
back,
to go get
Mr.
it every
Jones.
day.
Excuse
Can it
me?
be in the back?
Yeah,
It could be on the sides, in the back. It just can't be left in the driveway. That is
That's not an option, it's not room for it. I would have done it already.
We do have a piece of property on the sides, but it's grass, and then our neighbor's fence is right next to it. You can't see it from this angle.
Can you put it, you can't put it in the backyard?
No.
Yeah, it won't go back there.
We don't
It's not-
really have like 7'4" and the trailer's like, what, 72, 92. so.
Something like that, with the fenders, you know.
Okay, but that is our code for the city.
Well, then I guess.
You're gonna have to, take it to storage, have it in storage and bring it down the days that you wanna work out of it.
But I'm disabled, and storage is gonna cost me $100 a month, and
I understand that, sir. I do the same thing.
What department can he appeal that to here in the building?
Okay.
What department
Is
can he
there
appeal that to here?
Any more questions from the board?
You can't.
No? Okay, I know sometimes that's why I was.
No, well,
Is there a motion?
Unfortunately, the code is the code.
Okay, now there's something else I'd like to bring up, we have pictures of, is your inspector drives by at least 15 other violations to get to our house. Every time he comes to our house, it just ignores them.
Then you need to make a complaint on the property.
Okay, we've gone this route, but why should my name go and I'm the idiot, the whole neighborhood complaining for everybody in the neighborhood, when the inspector, that's his job to do that?
Somebody complained on you, so
Yeah.
I can't, you know.
Well, okay, we know who.
Okay, I'd like to make
Okay.
the motion,
You're always
okay,
free to go to the city commissioner meetings and
Yeah.
bring it up there to see if they can help.
All right, I'll get rid of my trailer and stop, work will stop on the house.
Okay, Ms. Roby, you
case,
have the floor.
case number CEB 06-25-111, at 1213 Moringa Avenue is in non-compliance and needs to come into compliance by the next cutoff of 7/2, or be subject to a fine of up to $1,000 a day until compliance is achieved.
Is there a second?
Second.
So I have till the end of the month to get rid of it?
You have until the next meeting to come into compliance.
7/2, that's at the birthday
Yeah,
street.
that, well, 7/2 is our cutoff, your meeting date is 7/10. Not that it's a
It is
whole lot.
moved and second, moved by Ms. Roby, second by Ms. Marshall.
Okay, now, what
All
about the
in
shed?
favor? All in favor?
Contact him and he can give you all that guidance.
You went and got the shed information.
Yes.
Okay, as long as I have that. endorsement by the
Excuse me,
chair, I don't-
excuse me, the chair is trying to speak.
I'm sorry.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, would you please, Ms. Mead, stay in touch with Mr. Jones? Stay in touch with Mr.
Absolutely.
Jones, he's gonna give you that.
Thank you.
And thank
All
you
right,
so
thank you guys
much.
for your time.
Okay.
Everything good?
Thank you for coming.
Good. Case number 22 CEB 06-25107, Deborah Ann Nafont at 340 Manhattan Avenue.
It's compliance.
That's
Compliance.
That case is in compliance.
June 11,
Yeah,
2025.
I'm getting there.
Okay.
Okay, case number 23 CEB 06-25103, William Warren Thompson Jr. at 307 Garden Street.
Can you state your name for the record?
William Thompson.
Okay, and you is he going to be speaking? The gentleman with you?
Yeah.
What's your name, sir?
Johnny Kelly.
Johnny Kelly. Will you both raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Tanner.
This case was opened August 21st, 2024. A field-generated case for overgrown landscaping, damaged fence, no address numbers, and damaged roof. First notice was received on August 23rd, 2024. Compliance was due September 23rd, 2024. Last inspection was June 6, 2025. The result was non-compliance. There has been contact with the owner. Staff recommends a finding of non-compliance with compliance due by the August cutoff.
Okay. Mr. Thompson, would you like to say anything?
Oh, well, you know, the storms, I had, first of all, I had funding problems, you know, with the damage to the roof from the storms. And after that, you know, the hurricanes came through, which set me back, you know. Besides, you know, I got health issues going on. But after storms came through, that set me back. And
Okay. Well, Mr. Thompson, today is just compliance or non-compliance. And your inspector has given you until next month to come into compliance. And one of the things that's important is the numbers, the house number. You state your F, if something happened, they need to see the number on the house.
Yep.
So would you do that immediately?
yes, the house number.
So
Are
we
there
had,
any,
Yeah.
are there any questions from the board?
you actually have until August, I think she recommended. Well, they haven't voted, but we recommended till August. Do you think 2 months is enough time? Okay.
Yeah, yes.
I'll make a motion that we, in the case of CEB 06-25-103, regarding William Warren Thompson Jr. at 307 Garden Street, that we find him in non-compliance, to come into compliance by our next meeting of August. August 6th. And for a fine to start, if they're not in compliance, of,
The fine is considered at the next meeting. It doesn't start at.
okay, so that's it.
Okay.
I second.
Okay. It has been moved by Mr. Gonzalez and second by Ms. Radabaugh. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Mr. Thompson, you have until August to come into compliance. Please stay in touch with Ms. Hannah.
I was gonna say, I'll make sure I stay in touch with her, especially if I need a little more time.
Okay. Stay in touch with her, okay? And
Yes,
thank you so much.
yes. Thank you. Thank you to the
Case
board.
Case number 24, CEB 06-25-106, Miguel R. Tawana at 630 Main Street. You can pronounce that. Would you be sworn in, please?
Will you state your names?
Miguel Atariwana.
Will the other gentleman who's speaking?
Freddy Zambrano.
Your last name again, sir?
Zambrano.
Can you spell that?
Zambrano.
A-O? Thank you. You both raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you.
Real quick before we start, just a procedural matter. Do you guys need a Spanish interpreter? I can tell that you understood what I said, right? So, are you planning to translate for him?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you testify that your translation will be true and accurate to the best of your ability?
Yes.
I need to be sworn. Okay. You're under sworn.
Miss Atana.
This case was opened on November 25th, 2024, a failed generator case for outside storage, peeling paint, dirt and grime, parking on the grass, and after-the-fact permit for the shed and roof. First notice was received November 29th, 2024. Compliance was due December 29th, 2024. Last inspection was June 6th, 2025, and the result was non-compliance. There has been contact with the owners. Staff recommends a finding of non-compliance with compliance due by next cutoff.
Okay. Ms. Garner, would you want to say anything?
Como dijo antes. Que yo lo cambié cuando cuando pasó la tormenta. Se me voló el techo. Entonces ahí los muchachos lo pusieron. Porque el techo de la casa se me llevó todo. Hace 3 años.
He changed the roof in 2024, like 3 years ago. And the people live there, they change the roof, but he's out of the country.
Okay.
That's why he don't know, and they fix it when the store.
Sí.
Like 3 years ago.
The people, is this being rented?
Would you let him, tell him to stay in touch and communicate with Ms. Atana more? Or you, so he could give you instructions on what you must do?
So my understanding, he doesn't live there.
Ese tiempo vivía yo ahí. Ahora tengo a mis sobrinos ahí viviendo.
He lived there before, but now the nephew lives there.
And they were the one that changed the roof?
Ellos fueron que
No, los otros muchachos que se fueron de allá, de ahí, que vivían con mis sobrinos.
Some people live with a nephew, then with people who change that roof.
Okay, so you need to keep in touch with the inspector because he's gonna have to get after the fact permits for the work that he done, even though he didn't do it. And the others, the peeling, I mean,
Yeah, he's responsible.
yeah.
Okay.
I got a question.
Okay, Mr. Gonzalez.
I have a question. How come, some of this looks like easy stuff
Yeah.
that you can get done immediately? How come it hasn't been done? It's been a year.
I believe he just got back into town not too long ago. That's what he told me.
Que acabaste de regresar a este país, por eso es que no lo has hecho, ¿cierto?
Miss Santana, you sit down a little bit. Okay.
¿Por qué no lo has hecho?
You said that you.
Yeah, when I spoke to him, he told me that he had just gotten back into town about a month ago. So he has taken care of the parking on the grass. He's removed the shed.
Okay.
He just has to do some painting and get the painting and the roof permit is what he needs. And that's what I've been trying to explain.
Yeah.
So he has to go to the permitting licensing to get the fact permit for the roof.
So since he's been back, there has been some progress?
Yes,
Okay,
big time.
You said after the fact, so he has done the roof?
Well, that's what he was just saying. 3 years ago, his nephew had some people on the roof and they repaired from the storm. And now they have to get a permit for that work because he has shingle and then a metal roof on top. So he needs to get a permit for that.
Okay, so I make a motion that, in the case of CEB 06-25-106, Miguel Atiraguana. Okay. At 630 Main Street, to find the case in a non-compliance and revisit at our next meeting, which is 7/6, is it?
7/2.
7/2 cutoff date. That's it.
Additionally, just procedurally, can you please notify us if you're planning to be here in Zoom or in person at the next meeting? Because we're going to coordinate to have an official interpreter. Si vas a venir en persona o por Zoom, dile a una persona, ella o ella, porque nosotros vamos a tener que pagar para alguien que venga para traducir oficialmente, para que nos avises.
Okay, hold on. No, there's a motion on the floor.
Oh, I thought you voted. I'm sorry. I apologize. That was my fault. Apologies.
Is there a second, please?
I'll second.
Okay, it was motion by Mr. Gonzalez, second by Ms. Rover. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Warner, and as I said, stay in touch with Ms. Hutton. Okay. Case number 25, CEB 06-25-108, Progressive Home Investment Incorporation, 560 Marlow Street. Okay, Ms. Santana.
This case was opened on January 10th, 2025, a failed generated case for work without a permit for a wooden fence. First notice was received January 13th, 2025. Compliance was due February 13th, 2025. Last inspection was June 6th, 2025, and the result was non-compliance. There has been no contact with the owner. Staff recommends a finding of non-compliance with compliance due by next cutoff.
Have they been properly notified of the hearing?
Yes, everyone has been properly notified. I already checked.
Okay.
They've been via certified mail.
Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion on case CEB 06-25-108, 560 Modell Street, to find noncompliance and to come into compliance by the next cutoff date of 7/2, or B, why do I keep
Set
forgetting?
for hearing.
Okay, set for, yeah, for
At the-
a fine up to $1,000 a day until compliance is achieved.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Mrs. Roby, second by Mrs. March. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Our case number 26 CEV 0625-109, Robert E. Liebig at 1307 Moore Street, Zoom. Welcome, Mr. Liebig, and we apologize for the lateness, but thank you.
So that's fine, I just wasn't sure how this worked, very new to me.
Okay. You have to be sworn in, Mr. Liebig.
Will you state your name for the record?
Robert Lively.
Do you swear or affirm that, can you raise your hand? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Okay. We'll now hear from our inspector, Ms. Hatana.
This case was opened on April 9th, 2025, a complaint-generated case for outside storage, dirt and grime, faded paint, boarded window, work without a permit for the roof, and trash and debris. First notice was received April 11th, 2025. Compliance is due May 11th, 2025. Last inspection was June 6th, 2025, and the result was non-compliance. There has been contact with the owner. Staff recommends finding of non-compliance with the compliance due by next cutoff.
Okay. Mr. Liebig, is there
Yes.
anything you would like to say?
Yes, I was actually just informed about this here, this past Sunday. I had gone by, and I was, I guess through a friend of my neighbor there was a posting on the door, so I knew nothing of this. As far as the roof goes there, I did repair the roof. I got there and the roof was leaking, and my first instinct was to fix his roof. I was not aware, and the permit had to be pulled for that. As far as this debris or boarding of the windows, I'm not really sure what they're meaning by that. The house was built in the 50s, and their method at the time was to remove, as time went on in life, remove one of the glasses out of the mobile pane windows and stick an air conditioner in that area. Now that there has been done, but I'm a recent owner of the place, and the woman that lived there before was 102 years old, so there has not been much work done to the property. I've put extensive work into cleaning the place up when I was down there. I've hauled 20-some loads to the landfill, and had the tree company in there and trimmed trees out that were overbearing the neighbors' properties, and also overhanging the roof of this house here, which had created storm damage in the past to the roof. So it's to where I'm trying to bring the place to as good a quality as anything that is in that development there, or better. But there were things I was not aware of. There is a little bit of debris next to the shed there, and it's all masonry debris. But when I was there, I went in and asked about a permit, because the shed is there. I would like to remove the shed at some point and put a garage there. So the stuff that's laying next to the shed there, which is not visible from the street, is all
Mr.
concrete
Liebig.
debris.
Mr.
So I was going to
Liebig.
use that for fill, because I would need fill there to put the garage up.
Yes, Mr. Liebig, you keep saying you didn't know. Do city have your correct address?
That I'm not sure, but I have all my utilities, they're all aware of my address and stuff like that, and
So,
I get all my bills automatic debited.
So on the property
Okay.
appraisal website, it's asking for all mail to go to the Moore Street address.
Yes.
Okay.
So I had to post the property.
Yeah, that's what
Okay.
statute
At
requires.
that address, the Moore Street address, she said there's a request for all the info to go there. to the Moore Street address?
So,
Where did that come from then?
so the property appraisal report has two addresses. It has a section for mailing address on file and physical address. They're different. So if you need to go to your property appraiser and have them fix your mailing address if you don't live there.
You can do it online.
You can do it online. So go online and fix it.
Well, I'm having a little bit of a problem with the online stuff. I'm not very savvy, and since I spoke to Mrs. Ally
You can call.
Brianna, I spoke to her, I think it was on Monday morning when I found out about this Sunday evening, and she said I could do the permit thing online. Well, I got to where I got my email registered with them, but then it wouldn't let me do nothing else.
So I hate to cut you off, sir. I hate to cut you off, but those are technical issues that aren't the topic of this meeting. Permits and licensing is a different division. If you want the number for the property appraiser's report, we can provide that afterwards. But if you want the mail to be mailed to a different mailing address, we can only do that if you change your property appraiser's report, or if you contact your inspector. But contact her. She will reach out to you. Actually, if we don't have the
Or
address.
you can reach her.
Can I give you my address right now?
No, he has.
No, you need to contact your inspector.
Give him your number. Just say it out loud so that he can.
I think I spoke to him on the phone.
Oh, so
on
he has
Monday.
your number.
So now we have each other's number.
Okay, so you
She
have.
said that she have your number and you have her number because she
I
spoke.
I have a number here, I think it was for Adriana.
Right.
That's the only number I have.
Yeah, that's your inspector.
Yes.
That's the inspector, sir.
That is the inspector.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're all set. Today, we are just here to either your compliance or non-compliance. So please stay in touch with Miss Itana.
Okay, I'll definitely do that. I will be back there in the area in August, and I plan to address a lot more stuff, but now I'm understanding here a little more to where when I applied for this, okay, the window has the board where the glass was removed. I have new windows ordered. I think I was in violation there. They said something that the paint wasn't good. Well, there was that much growth in front of the house I had to tear away. And that's what made everything look bad, because now the front of the house is as cold as everything.
Mr. Liebig, so at this time, please just reach out to Miss Itana and then she will let you know which way
Okay,
to
the
go
place
from
will be
there.
improved, just take my word
Okay.
for it.
Thank you
And
so
the whole
much.
board
It's-
there, I hope you will work with me just a little bit here, but I will have that place in better shape than most of the places that are in that whole community.
Okay,
Good,
thank you.
Thank you.
Is there a motion?
There is a motion in the case of CEBO 5-25-109 regarding Robert E. Liebig at 1307 Moore Street to fine him in noncompliance and to come into compliance by our next meeting of 7/2?
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
And at that time, a fine will or will not be determined.
No, he'd be set for a hearing on the next meeting is that July 6th?
Yes.
July, no.
No,
that's the next meeting.
July 12th. No, 10th.
Hold on just a minute.
I just want to make you aware of that.
July
2nd.
Yeah, it
This
is
is cut
July
off.
7th.
But the
Okay.
meeting's
July
July
7th.
10th.
Was
July
there's a motion.
Okay.
Is there a second? Okay, Mr. Gonzalez, motion, Mrs. Roby, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so Ms. Libra, again, thank you for being patient and waiting. And would you please reach out to Ms. Hatana? And
Yes, I
she-
will. I'll do that tomorrow, or I'm sure she's going to be tied up probably the rest of the day.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
We'll see you July 10th.
Thank you so much. No.
Okay,
Again,
thank you, and all these, and have a nice day.
The meeting is July 10th. The compliance date is July 2nd. So if you're writing that down.
July 2nd, July 10th.
10th is the hearing.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. And I just want to say this before I forget it. Miss, can't remember names.
Yes.
But we always give them the cutoff date, because when we give them the day of the meeting, sometimes they wait to that date to comply.
That makes
That
sense.
is the reason we give them the compliance date. Okay, is there
Are you
anything
done,
else?
excuse me, are you done with the respondent?
Yes. Oh,
He's
I'm
still on.
sorry. I apologize. We have completed. Hello?
Okay,
Bye-bye.
Hello, bye.
Bye-bye. I did that to him. But I also wanted to say to the board, to our members, thank you so much for putting up with me. And we have almost like 2 new members, and I was glad when this one spoke out and was going, but then she went silent on me. And 2 things I was not blessed with. That was direction and some names. So please be patient with me. I'll get it.
And I apologize for that, talking
Yeah.
while the motion was on the floor. I apologize.
Okay. Yeah, we're all learning and we want to get it right. And thank you all so much. So if there's nothing else.
Ms. Himes?
Yes.
Madam Chair, the board discussion, were you going to talk about the lien reviews?
Yes. I forgot where are my notes. You mean about who speaks first?
The process, the.
Oh, yeah. Okay, deal with me. I just saw it. I cannot believe this. There's a process that we go through. You're gonna have to start it, and I have it here, but
Your
where?
notes.
Both. Sometimes
That
it's
was
paid
in my
from civilians, sometimes it's paid from.
Okay, and it was just to tell you about the process and how code does it, just like they do in SMG, have a discussion prior to coming to try to eliminate some of the time that we spend going. You can still ask the questions that you have for them, but they want to try to come to a decision before they reach here to eliminate so much time.
Because I can explain it now, you got, but I have it here. What she's saying that on the lien reviews, because most of our lien reviews be really drawn out. And code can meet with the person or the
Respondents.
people before, and they can work out an agreement as to what, whether we need to reduce or whether they have to pay. And then they just bring that to us, their recommendation. Now, keep in mind, we don't have to accept that recommendation. But most times, they have met and, put in hours trying to come to an agreement.
And the big thing is, Madam Chair, is you folks have already heard the cases
Right.
in the past, and you have made your finding. What we do is try to meet with the respondent, see what the hardship was that they are requesting, and then try to come up with something that is agreeable to the respondent and to the city. And then we just provide that recommendation to you. If you feel that you can accept, if we say it was a reduction from 15,000, I'm just arbitrarily, and we decided to reduce it to 5, if you are acceptable with that without discussion and the respondent has agreed, then we would be able to reduce that $15,000 fine down to 5,000, and it is payable in 30 days. It's not attached. If he doesn't pay it in 30 days, where we are getting that 5,000 in, it goes back, it reverts back to what the original lien was. So what we are seeing in some cases, that we're then getting them to pay something against their lien instead of it just sitting there on the property.
Okay, it sounds good, but we're the board that is charged with certain duties. That's one of them. So I can't agree for us to be relieved of reviewing the case in our process.
Okay, but really, we are not being relieved because, as he said, we have usually gone over that case 2 or 3 times before we get to the lien part. And and believe me, they take time and hours trying to come to an agreement with them. And the agreement is usually best for the property owner.
I agree that
and
it's a
also
good,
for us.
I agree that it's a,
And as I said before, we have the right to refuse it
right,
or not.
right, but in order to refuse it or not, we have to review it.
Well, you get the paper.
Get the packet
so-
in your
yeah.
packet.
You will get the package.
Right.
But I'm saying, we already done went
But
through it.
I have another question about that, about the fines that are paid. Is there a way, instead of that money going into the general fund, that it is set up in another account that can go and help these people that don't have the funds?
So,
Because right now, the money's going in the general fund and they're,
Yeah.
so I'll take that
We
question.
had that discussion last.
That's a good
because we
idea.
Felt if the money did go there, some of these people wouldn't be 4 and
But-
5 years.
yeah,
in hell.
right, exactly,
Yeah,
but, so,
But I'm not
That is,
finished with my point.
that's an administrative
sorry.
I'm not-
question
okay.
that's administrative question.
Excuse me, I'm not finished with my point. My concern is that we become a rubber stamp. And I don't think that's what we're charged with, as our duties from the state.
no, because we can still refuse we can still deny what they've agreed to.
Question.
I don't, you can still give questions, I think we
Right.
can still go into it, but it will lessen the process.
I agree with that. I
Yeah.
agree with that part of it.
And
I just don't want us to become a rubber stamp that the
Yeah.
city says, bang, and we have to agree to it. You know, that's not what we're charged with in representing the state and the
I
legislature.
agree, but I don't, like I said, I really don't see it as a rubber stamp because believe me, when you get into reading all this stuff, it is another thing. You know what the case is. This I would like to say too, because for years, I really turned my head on it. When code would come up with a fine of $200, I've even been on where we paid a $500 a day fine. And I would say even $200, come on, look at where they're living. But the reason for that fine is because code have been going back and back, back and back, and the person still has not done one thing to clarify the lien. And that's when I think most of the time when we hear a $200 per day fine, that's what it's from.
If I may, Madam Chair,
Yes,
I think something that could appease your concern, something we do sometimes in court, or if it's a juvenile court, when someone's taking a plea, when we could do similar to a plea where a judge asks, did you understand the plea? Do you agree to the plea? Do you have any objections? If they say no, then a discussion might not be necessary, but is available if you want to.
Because I remember when we tried that before, we had an attorney come out and say, when the case was presented to us, oh, we don't have to talk about it because we already came to an agreement. Remember that case?
I remember
And-
that. We got
yeah.
really upset about it
Right,
because we
right.
didn't know anything
Yeah.
about the meeting. But
Exactly.
now we are,
Yeah.
no, that's what I was.
And that's where the rubber stamp issue came in. And then to have an attorney tell us, well, we don't have to talk about it because we agree with this person,
Yeah.
you see?
So-
And I really
I was in
didn't,
uproar with
I
that.
think that was out of whack.
So I think maybe they can, the inspector can present, we met and we discussed, this is our
will.
agreement, and then we can ask the respondent, do you understand, accept that agreement? It's important to ask if they understand and accept it, and then similar to a plea, and then.
As long as we're not out of the process.
And
And then I want, my account, I mean, not my account, but my idea of setting up an account that the fines go into, to go back into the community instead of the general fund where,
Yeah.
Yeah, we have the-
That was mentioned at a commission meeting, and it didn't go.
well, of course it's not, because they're the ones that are spending the money, so.
Oh, yeah.
Going
so
into
That's
that-
the answer. The commission has to make
Can
the
we
decision.
ask our attorney to research that, to see if that is possible, if we can vote,
Legally it
we can
is.
vote on it to make it happen?
Mr. Gonzalez, I'm also a special magistrate, and that's a procedure I employ. The petitioner still provides the materials to me. I review the materials, but then the discussions, sometimes the discussions are things that would be best left off the record, so to speak, where the person who is seeking it may give out information regarding their current fiscal abilities to pay it, and things of that nature, things that they may feel uncomfortable saying in public, and all of that can be discussed. But the bottom line is still, the person who's making the decision has the final say as to is it fair, is it right, is it just? So that all those materials would come to you, am I correct in that, Mr. Jones?
Yes, that's correct.
Their request would come to you, and you'd have, the fine is X amount of dollars, or the lien is, and you have probably heard this matter at some point, and you know kind of what's going on, but then they set out their reasons why. Sometimes there are good reasons, and sometimes there are not so good reasons. And it's, but the final decision is yours. Staff comes in and says, we sat down with the person making the request.
So, I'm sorry, but if the final decision is ours, then can we make a decision on her proposal?
That's what she.
That's what I'm asking, that's what I'm asking.
He's asking, his question is, can the board vote to make a special fund where the money goes? My answer is no.
I don't believe so, no.
No.
I know it's no, because that's what I was.
So what do?
You petition the commission or the
Okay.
city manager.
So
That's where it's gonna start with.
should I go to, I don't want to go by myself, but.
I'll go with you.
I mean, we could go to a commission meeting and ask,
Just my opinion, Ms. Roby. I think you'll come out better by individually giving the idea to the city commission.
well, I don't think the city really wants to hear from me, because I'm having my own issues with the city right now,
No,
but
with the commissioner. What I'm saying is.
I can't get them to answer my questions on the problem.
I did that,
Uh-huh.
and it went nowhere.
Well, that's what my
So,
problem is
I stood up before the commission and it was just a suggestion, but something we wanted. And I didn't put code on, I put adjustment, the variance board and everybody on board. That this would help. The money will go toward the people getting money faster. And it didn't go in it. That's why I said, speak to like your commissioner, I speak to my commissioner.
And let them bring it up.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I've emailed the whole commission, and I've gotten a response from 2 over an issue that I'm having personally. And it wasn't even my commissioner that answered me. So there's an issue with the commissioners.
Yeah, there is, you're right, you're right.
Okay,
all right,
all
we'll
is said. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you.